You see, NERA seems to really confuse me. Yard is a signatory of NERA. They've never gone to the courts to challenge the voter registration, the continuous process. They've never challenged the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission report of Urungwa West, where it clearly talked about the traditional leaders being involved, violence being involved. But I see them diverting their attention. The critical issue is that when you have evidence of electoral malpractice, you challenge it and you correct it. They've never gone to court to say the traditional leaders must not be involved. The evidence is here. And the court cannot say no to the evidence from the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, because according to Constitution 242, they have the rights to the power to investigate any human rights violation. But you see the meeting, they talk about demonstrations every day. Demos don't work. Demos don't work. Demos have never worked when you have an informal sector. Because somebody says to me, I go and demonstrate, how do I make food for the thing? So it's a wrong call. They've never worked, and I've never encouraged it. I've always said, divert that energy into taking your message to the rural constituencies. In terms of the BVR, which is something that I want to talk about as well, what do people fear about the BVR? If the government is going to buy it, so be it. In fact, government should really be responsible for that. What is critical is what ZEC does at the end of the day. BVR is the opposition who wanted it, because they were saying that there were people who were dead, who were allowed to vote. Now a mechanism comes in to address that, but you're still complaining, you're still complaining. I've always said they're like crybabies. They seem to think that this country must be given to them on a silver platter. I mean, they think, you know, the democracy is about crying, demonstrating, protesting, and then the president says, okay, I've heard you, here's the country. No. It doesn't work like that. When you're dealing with ZANU-PF in an election, you've got to understand who they are. Why do you go into Iraq when you don't know where the thing exit is? You can't go into a battlefield not knowing where the exit is, not knowing who your enemy is. The economy is against ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is not able to mobilize resources the way they used to do. But equally, it's not even about money. At the end of it, it is how you are structured, even through YARD. The reason why we created YARD was to have young people participating. They're participating, they're involved. It will never be a party, but it's about them registering, mobilizing others, and identifying. Look at France. The guy who's going to the second round, he's a young person. So by nature, people want to see young people in power and so forth. So if they're having somebody who's not young as a presidential candidate, that's not for me. That's for the electorate to decide. But understand that over 60% of the electorate are young people. Potentially they're dangerous. Potentially, but they can only be dangerous if they are voting, if they're registering to vote, and so forth. So to me, BVR, you know the pros and cons of BVR. What are you doing to talk to your structures about it? There's more voter education needed. Go and tell your electorate that BVR ichiuya inoita zvakati. So there's still this impression which is being given to people. The opposition party has not said they're not going for elections, they're going for election. But the information seems to be negative. I liked it when I read the president of the MDC saying, when ZANU-PF is giving food, give it to them. Honorable Sarawaka is a good example. In his constituents, when he was campaigning, when he heard that ZANU-PF was giving food and he had people, he told them, can you go and get the food? Afterwards, can you come and I'll address you? Because it's government programs that you go for. Because you cannot say to people, don't get food when you have no food to give them. You see, so strategy, they seem to be lacking and so forth. So the election for 2018, ZEC has been doing a good job. For me, when I'm contesting an election, I write to ZEC all the time. I tell them constitutionally what must be done. We meet every minute. They put together the necessary committees which are there. I'm putting a court challenge in terms of them not putting a commission that looks into the investigations of violence instantly when elections are happening, because there must be one headed by the police and equally the Human Rights Commission, where any violence that happens, you report it immediately so that those people are arrested. That's the only thing that has been missing. But in writing to them, they said that's not for us. That's for the Commissioner General to set that up from a constitutional point of view. But we've written and we've seen that it's not. But in terms of what we want, the polling stations in Norton, they gave us and they asked us, are you happy with them, are you not happy with them? When we're not happy, we wrote to them, they all equally changed them. So you're always complaining that ZEC is doing this, ZEC is doing that. ZEC, if you engage them, you know the Electoral Act, you know the Constitution, they conform by that. So I think it's about really moving on with what is there.